Hey guys, thanks for checking out my review of The Burning Light by Brent Weeks, the final book in the epic Lightbringer saga. I'm super excited to talk to you about it today. I'm going to do this video in 3 different parts. The first part is going to be a preview and a disclaimer for those of you who are on the fence about the series. I want to clear a few things up. Second, I'm going to do a full breakdown of The Burning Light. And finally, I'm going to give you my honorable mentions for the book and my final thoughts on the series. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing I'm doing is the preview. So, to preview this series, this is an epic fantasy. It is a massive world, completely unique magic system, visually stunning. The characters are extremely well done. There's some dynamics that I have never seen before in fantasy. I love this series. That being said, if you're somebody who's doing some research and you're on the fence about it, you may see some negative reviews on the internet. I think I can sort of explain those. What I think happened was that in the first few books, maybe the first 4 books, they read like this fantasy action mystery novel. They're awesome, they're chilling, they're exciting, there's all sorts of new things to discover, and then as we get a little further into the series, we have the same fantasy action mystery novels with the addition of conversations on enlightenment, spirituality, and consciousness. And to me, these made the series complete. I don't think that anything was being shoved down my throat. I didn't feel that way while I was reading it. They do feel long at times, the books, but regardless of that, I think that Brent Weeks executes everything that he intended to. This is worth checking out. The series probably ends up in my top 5 of all-time epic fantasies. If not, then definitely my top 10. But either way, I definitely recommend picking up this book. If you're on the fence about it, don't let all the negativity dissuade you. Check out this series. It's worth your time. Before you keep listening, I do need to say spoiler alert. If you have not read the final book or the series at all, pick up the first book, pick up the 5th one, pause the video, come on back when you're done. Spoiler warning. Let's start with Kip. Kip is an awesome character to me, super relatable. He's got a lot of inner demons that he's been working through since the beginning. This book obviously starts with this assassination scene, which is so dope. I think this is my favorite way that Brent Weeks has ever started a book. After that, Kip he's on the run to the Chromaria to save the world. There's this awesome naval battle on the way. He gets to the top of the... before he gets to the Mirror, he has this card game, this 9 Kings game with Androscoyle. There's some really cool reunions there. That was just an awesome dynamic seeing him come home. I called the Chromaria home for him, but that counts. Anyways, after the game with Androscoyle, he goes to the top of the Mirror Ray. Of course, his idiot, jerk, half-brother, Zymond, comes to the top. He sets him on Orhorlum's Glare. And there's this just heartfelt, touching execution scene on the top of the Prisms Tower. Tysus is there. Super sad. It definitely didn't feel like Kip was actually going to die. We know that Brent Weeks is not afraid to resurrect a character, and that's what happened. So the Kopi Seller comes. Karis's Kopi Seller comes. She's really sad that he's dead. That's another really touching moment. Maybe feels like he's going to have a mama. And after that, he finds out he can't really draft anymore. He does a couple other things to save the day. I think that's when he gets involved with Abnon. Really, he finds out that he's probably not going to be able to draft either. I love the way that his arc ends. First of all, where he goes to the threshing with the testing stick and gets a little Orhorlum's wink. That's the first time we've seen that actually happen in the series, even though they've talked about it. So I thought that was a really good way to do it right at the end. Also, there's a little bit of a ceremony look in the mirror where Kip is kind of having some really positive self-talk. I thought this was great growth for the character, needed to happen. He was dealing with some real self-loathing, and that was the first time he ever accepted himself. Awesome way to end his character arc. And I'm okay if he doesn't get powers again. He's going to live happily ever after with his beautiful wife and family, and things are good. Let's move on to who do we got next? Tia. Oh, Tia, she is, I think, my favorite character at this point, and a lot of it has to do with the way that her arc ends. So Tia starts on the Jaspers. She is in this crisis of morality where she's got to either listen to the order or she's got to stay back on the Jaspers, which means she's probably going to be hunted and she's going to have to kill a lot of people. She decides to stay. She decides to take down the order from within. This was awesome. She's basically like this spy assassin for the whole book. She's tracking down people. She's tracking down Halfcock, tracking down Lord Asmith. Really neat. Murder Sharp gets her in this game of cat and mouse. He catches her one time. He gives her an ultimatum, says he's going to kill her if he sees her again. And then he does catch her again, but she's able to poison him. I thought this was a cool way for Murder Sharp to die. I liked the mercy aspect that was involved in it. I thought it said a lot about Tia's character and what she's willing to do, who she's willing to be. She is also able to then use the poison that Murder Sharp was going to use on her to kill 430 members of the Order of the Broken Eye. Way to go, Tia. She's not done there, though. After that, even though she poisons herself, she's able to get herself to the top of the prison's tower, stab Abaddon right in the nick of time, and kill an immortal. And then furthermore, the last scene, which, by the way, if you have not read this yet, go to the end of your acknowledgement section. I'm not going to spoil too much. She has a meeting with Grinwoody. Super, super satisfying. I would have been really confused and concerned about the ending of this storyline if it weren't for these events. So, thank you, Brent Weeks, for that little tidbit at the end. Tia also becomes Tia Sharp, in my opinion, at this point, but we're able to accept that Sharp is not such a bad thing. Maybe she'll shed some light on the world. I like this. So let's talk about Karis Guile. She's not a character that's immediately super exciting to me every time I read about her, but I do respect a lot of the difficult choices that she made, and overall I think her character in this story really came to a nice point. The first part of it is really just its political conversations between her and Andros Guile. She's really embracing the mantle of the Iron White. She is accepting that Gavin is dead and then finding out that he's alive, and also finding out that she might have to marry King Iron Fist. This wasn't super fun to read about for me, but like I said, Karis is cool. The next part was super dope when she decides to become Iron White Blackguard warrior and takes a team out to the Blue Bane. She kills the Blue Bane, she hunts down her brother Koyos, and in perfect timing, she gets the blinding knife so she can stab him in the chest. This was a really cool action sequence for Karis. Other than that, I really like how she was super sad about Kip dying. I thought that there was some hopeful moments here, like maybe she'll act like his mom. She definitely said something like that. This is good stuff for us to think about the happiness of our characters moving forward. She definitely grew a lot throughout the series. No disrespect to Karis or anybody who really likes her. It just wasn't super relatable. Let's move on to talking about Gavin Guile. This was incredible character writing to me, and it's also the problem that a lot of people have, I think, with the book. Look, this is a guy who has murdered people for his entire life. He's been lied to. And he's also crazy. He also doesn't know anything that he remembers, if it's true, if it's not. So he needed to go basically be told the truth about all this stuff in order for any of this to make sense. And that's exactly what happens. He goes on a boat with Gunnar, awesome character, and basically his job is to kill God. He takes this pilgrimage up the tower after fighting some sea demons, and he meets God, and he learns the truth. He reconciles with his past self. He accepts himself as Dazen. This was beautiful, powerful stuff. And I think that if you have an issue with the way this went, then I don't know. Like, I mean no disrespect, but I feel like this is what needed to happen for this character in order for us to feel good about liking him in any way. So, that's my thought on it. Let me know if you disagree. And let's move on. Well, first, there are some really cool action sequences that happen at the end. He jumps off of the tower into Orharlem's Condor. This was really cool, too. After drafting a whole bunch of Black Luxon and using the mirror rays, of course. And then he gets to Jasper's right in the nick of time and tosses Karis the blinding knife. And after that, it's really just revealed that he's been healed by God and that he's kind of a normal guy now. He's married to the Iron White, and he's going to start over with Kip and maybe even have kind of a father-son relationship with Andros, his dad. So this is a complete character to me. I loved it. The last person in the book that we have to talk about is Andros Guile, the spider. Gosh, such an awesome character. I love this guy. I loved to kind of hate this guy, but now I feel like I just love him. We get a lot of glimpses into his past as the Guile when he's learning about prophecies and about Philia and just growing this massive ego and believing truly that he is the Lightbringer and he has to do whatever it takes in order to become that. He does. He kills his sons. He manipulates. He lies. He does everything he possibly can. And the big reveal in all of this is that he might have been wrong. I mean, but also that he might have been right. Really, a lot of the stuff that happens is in those flashbacks with him. The coolest part is at the end, when he's at the top of the Prism's tower, and he is controlling those mirrors like only the spider could. He's a full-spectrum polychrome. He's been hiding this for 40 years. I mean, some really cool stuff here that was left all the way until the end of this series to be revealed. I was impressed. I love Andros Guile. I think that he's going to be sneaky good when it's all said and done, and he's already showed some flashes of that. His morality changed a little bit. Maybe he's even a family man now. We'll see. Or maybe we won't because the series is over. But that recaps the main characters. I want to move into the last section of the video. I do want to make a couple of honorable mentions. First of all, to Cruxer. I cried like a little baby boy when you died. Rest in peace, my brother. Also to the Mighty as a whole. This was such an awesome group. It came from the Blackguard, which was an awesome group also. Gosh, the character dynamics in this Brotherhood is just the coolest thing that maybe I've ever read about. And also the coolest action sequences when Andros Guile gives them their weapons and then they're sent off to their respective Banes to do these awesome solo missions. That was epic. Also, I want to say shout out to Liv Danovis. I'm sorry that I feel like these books didn't do your story justice. I want to know more about you. I think it was a really good plot, but the execution on it, maybe just not detailed enough. Now she's an immortal. Maybe we'll see more about her in the future. Other than that, I do want to say shout out to Zymond and shout out to Aram for being total douchebags. And, well, Maybe we should end on a positive. How about this? Honorable mention to Karras's Kopi Seller. Gosh, that guy must have some really good stuff. Anyways, let me know who you guys want to put a shout out to or an honorable mention for. Other than that, I don't really have anything else. I do want to... My final reactions to this series are, like I said, this is an epic fantasy. It's awesome. I think the action is so worth checking it out. And the concepts that overarch the series towards the end of enlightenment and renewed faith and truth and also family, and there's so much good stuff here. Just be patient with it. Be ready for that. I think you guys are going to enjoy this series if you haven't read it yet. If not, and you disagree with me or you do agree with me, go ahead and drop a comment below. I want to hear what you think as well. Again, this is totally my opinion. That being said, I'm really excited to be doing some more content for you guys in the future. If you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel to see what I come out with next. Right now I'm going to be reading the Lycanius trilogy, and I'm going to be doing maybe a book-by-book breakdown, but definitely a series breakdown of that, and a couple other things in the future as well. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and peace out.